What up, everybody? It's Ryan Decenzo. Welcome back to In the Trenches, where today we're not really in the trenches. We're just gonna go over a couple of my favorite clips from the Till the Legs Fall Off part. In case you guys don't know, we named that video part Till the Legs Fall Off because a lot of times the wheels have came off. The wheels have flown off in the middle of a trick. And you know, we didn't stop. You know, it's an old saying, till the wheels fall off. We're skating till the legs fall off. All right, let's dive into the part. First clip, opener clip, good old frontside flip. You know me, I'm out there trying to frontside flip off of roofs. Was hyped to do that. Nobody's skated that spot before, and we power slid into those people's trash can. All those people commenting and saying, you know, I'm upset, you knocked over those people's trash can, where's the respect, blah, blah, blah. Come on, bro, it's a trash can. Have you ever gone outside and looked at what the trash truck does when it grabs the trash can? It's like, that shit like crumbles your trash can. All you people that said something about it, you need to relax, you need to stop being a Karen and realize that this is the smallest amount of damage that I've done to anything while skateboarding. Fuck everybody who is talking shit on me knocking over a trash can. You need to grow up and not be a crybaby. Let's see, what's the next clip here we got? Oh, dude, this is, you know, good old Rhino coming through with the spots. This gap to rail was really fun, really perfect. Probably could have flung a lot of tricks onto it. Tray flip lip kind of works when you're trying to fling a trick out to something. So I felt like that was the right trick for the spot, and it ended up working out pretty good. So sick having all the homies on the sesh. Skippy got the fisheye angle. Berger was there, pumping up the vibes. We had Sax filming from the top of the van. Now we got this crook nollie heezer. Yeah, basically this spot, it's bricks. You wouldn't think it would grind at all. Some homies put some Bondo in between, which is mostly came off now, in between the little places on the bricks. Feels real good to get that crook through the bricks. It's like, ah, and then right at the end, you gotta flick the trick out and there's kind of a log in the way. After realizing how fast you gotta go just to get a consistent crooked grind on it, the nollie heel was clearing it like just by the right amount.
Apple's not a sponsor yet.
Yeah, fuck Apple. I think we got coming up here a ledge line at these buttery benches that have metal on the sides with plastic on top, and I don't think they're a go anymore, but this was actually the first spot where me and Sax filmed a clip together. Good look, Sax. This hard flip right here was downtown LA, kind of a busty spot. You kind of got to just run in there, try it a couple times, and then the security guards come out and they're kind of like, no, don't do that, and then you're like, one more, and then they're like, no, but if they're not in the way, I'm going anyhow. And then we leave, wait for them to go back to their little sheltered area with their coffee and donuts. And then we come right back out again, hit them with it again. I think they were too slow the second time around. So yeah, we ended up getting this hard flip, felt real good. Marble takeoff over the bench, more of like a tall gap than a long gap. But yeah, just a cool spot, fun spot. A lot of spots in that area too. This one, ooh, a house spot. I'm not really the biggest fan of house spots, but like if there's a good one like this, I'll definitely run it up. I mean, I might have had to move a little welcome mat or something to get the run up, which I always feel bad, but like if you see me on the ring cam and I'm at your house, just know I'm not jacking anything. I'm not even gonna steal your Amazon package right off the front porch step. I'm just sending it over the rail, trying to get my clip. Solid guy, you know, you don't have to worry about me. I wanted to hit something on the rail, but it's got a weird Martha Stewart shape on the rail, which is like what I call the like little wave and then the edge. So it's like a square, but a round. And it's really sketchy to like grind and slide, but somebody could definitely do some gnarly shit on that. I'm gonna go back and blunt slide it. I'm claiming it right now. I don't care. I'll make claims. That's how I get shit done. I make claims. So I'm gonna claim a blunt slide on that, and whoever wants to grind the whole thing with the Martha Stewart thing, hit me up. Oh, here we are in San Diego. This rail was like a 13 rail, but the stairs were kind of small and the last step was like barely even a stair. So it's kind of like a 12 and a half. But that was a fun rail for a kickflip lip. I battled a back over crook on it an hour beforehand and it just wasn't working. Sometimes back over crooks are chill for me. Most of the time they're not. So fuck back over crooks. I'll say it once again.
Fuck back over crooks.
For anyone else that does back over crooks, go back over crook that rail for me. Thank you. It'll be a good back over crook. It'll be sick. You need a curb sign, you need Bondo, you need trimmers. I mean, go put in the work. You get it. Oh, this is my little hometown secret spot that's probably not going to be secret after this, but I got my trick on it. I don't think I'm going to do much better than that. The old tray flip crook. It's in a secret location. Prop up the grate thing, and then you got kind of a straight on to like bump to electrical box. You got to throw down in the middle of the frickin' street every time. So you're not getting that many tries per 5 minutes. That's the worst part about it. So you really can get over it really fast. And I was really over this trick, but I think Sax was like, come on, you locked in, dude, fucking do it. Like, and I got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna be here for 5 hours and I'm not gonna give up and I'm just gonna do it. And when I do it, I do it. And I don't think it took 5 hours. Yeah, they call it the knack. Not a chance, which I knew going into it that I didn't have a chance, but sometimes you play the odds. It's like you roll the dice this many times, you're gonna hit 666 or whatever you want. But you gotta sit there for a while and roll those dice and stand in that street and deal with Karens honking at you and cops coming by and you're kind of stashing your board to the side and all that fun stuff that goes on. Oh, we got the Tosh hubba. Dude, Tosh Townend, super sick legend, always cool to this day. And this nose blunt was like basically one of those tricks that was super nostalgic for me. Just pulled up there one day and was like, you know what, we're doing it today. I'm gonna nose blunt it. I had never 50'd it or anything. I 50'd it, it was pretty chill. And then I just started sending a couple nose blunts and kind of tapping it in and then jumping away. And it's just gnarly with that curb, and that piece of wood that we had was like breaking in the landing, so hectic spot. And this was actually the same day. We were juiced after the nose blunt and I was like, let's go blunt some other big shit. Like, let's go, I got this, I know this 15 hubba. I backsmithed it once upon a time. I think I can blunt it. Like, let's go get this blunt. Like, I waxed it up kind of like I did the last hubba that I did the nose blunt on. And I think I just waxed it too much because every try I was like, oh my God, I'm slipping out. I'm slipping out. And I felt like I was going super fast. Like in the clip, it doesn't look like I'm going that fast, but in my head, I was going so fast that when I was getting down at the bottom of the hubba, I was like, how am I gonna turn out? I don't have any time to turn out. And there's like a little weird kink on the end of the hubba that I don't know if you can see, but that was also playing out in my head. I remember going up to Landon and being like, let me watch the clip. I wanna see what it looked like when I felt like I was coming out. But I didn't know. I felt like it was affecting me big time and it was in the way and I didn't like it. But then once I watched the clip, I was like, oh, okay, it's all good. Like, I'm good to go. I like went for it all the way and then that was the one I ended up landing. So a lot of these tricks, like you go for it and by the time you commit and land on the board, you're rolling away. But it's just how it goes sometimes. So this nollie crook, this rail was way bigger than I thought when I got there. And I thought of doing a whole bunch of different tricks, but this one was not an ideal session at all. It was windy. We were too lazy to Bondo the cracks, which didn't end up making a difference, but in your head, you're kind of like, man, we're too lazy to Bondo the cracks. Like, is this even worth it? It makes you want to, it's another excuse to give up, basically. So I had one more, I had another excuse to give up on that nollie crook that day, but I wanted to like add to the clips. I had already got like 3 clips that day, and I was like, I want one more, you know, like you get a little bit of the taste, and you want one more. But the one thing that I was pissed about was when I rode away, I didn't hippie jump over the bench. So the hippie jump was like the icing on the cake, like, or more like the cherry on top, because you need icing. I wanted that cherry on top, but I didn't get it. And
Who did it? Didn't
Kanan Dern did a nose blunt on it, hippie jumped perfectly. All my warm-up attempts, which we don't have on film, I did like board slide and back 50. I landed and then I hippie jumped perfectly. So I was like, all right, when I do the nollie crook, I'm gonna hippie jump perfectly. But it just didn't end up happening, and I was choked on that. I was bummed. All right, what do we got next here? Ooh, one of my favorites. The nollie tray flip was a gift from the skate gods to me. I was blessed on that day for sure. Just kind of battled it for a bit, ended up catching a couple like pretty good, and then in my head I was like, all right, like stop kicking out, let's land it. And then the one that I ended up catching and landing had kind of this like catch where it felt like I was catching a hard flip a little bit with my front foot, kind of like went up and grabbed it at the same time as my back foot. And that's how I like to catch a regular tray flip too. Like the sooner you can get all your feet on the board, the more you can manipulate it when it's coming down. One of my favorite clips from the part, because I knew how good it would feel to roll away from it, and I knew how sick it was gonna look to like nollie tray flip over the rail with this 5 block, and we brought the ladder in and everything to get the angle for Lando. He's all short, but he's got the passion.
Bangers though, dog, you know what I'm saying? We only get the bangers, Lando.
Pretty sure it's never been done before. I could be fried and completely wrong.
What up?
This guy needs boards.
We're here
You gotta
for
feed
boards.
him. No,
you're going that way,
boards
bud.
are this way. I was gonna go through. Go through where?
Your hair is like, you're
My
going
nose are
way
down.
too fast.
No, you get one.
See that insert?
People calling it an 8.4.
You see that fucking shit?
Damn, I like this.
Fucking boards are coming, boys.
Or they're not coming because Caleb's
they're
gonna
not.
skate them all, and then I'm not gonna have any to sell.
I might blow through them all, so you better.
You
Once
better
they're
hurry
on
up
the
and get
fucking
them when they
site,
drop.
You better fucking. You'll be buying them because they're hotcakes. They're going fucking righteous, dude.
All right, later, bro.
Go get some freaking clips, dude.
We need clips.
Where's it coming?
Oh, so now we're at the 4 block, dude. This is one of my favorite spots recently that I've had a couple nice sessions on. This was all in 2 sessions. And the switch frontside flip was planned, like, all right, I'm gonna go there, switch frontside flip it. That'll be fun. And then the switch 3 was like, oh, Caleb's still trying the laser. I'm gonna try and do something else. And the carve-in was kind of good, so the switch 3 felt appropriate, ended up working real easy. And then the nollie cab there was like just to kind of complement the switch 3, I guess. It's just one of those tricks that I guess since I'm a front 3er kind of guy, it's just a nollie front 3 for me, which is like almost just as easy as a front 3. I think if I was doing nollie cabs my entire career, that would probably be an easier trick than a front 3. But nollie cabs also, you require maybe more speed for a gap. So front 3, you can kind of pop later off the tail, gap it out a little further. So that just has been one of those tricks that I've been doing forever. Land on the board, doesn't flip, just send it. So, all right. Looks like we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this shit now. Oh, we got the kickflip crook on the East LA hubba. Yeah, this one has been on the trick list for a while. So I don't know if all pro skaters do this, but like I make a trick list. My trick lists, they last for years. Years and years. I've had trick lists that's on a shitty piece of paper in my garage or stuck on my fridge. It's kind of like a bangers, enders trick list. And I've crossed off a couple. I backsmithed it and that was pretty gnarly for me. But at that time, I also knew like, I want to kickflip crook this one day. I'm gonna make it happen. Felt super good to check it off. Let's go. So I'm just battling it and I'm just like making sure I can lock in. I think I back 50'd it to warm up. Maybe nose slid it. It wasn't grinding. It was like, there was new paint over top of old paint. So it's like when you're skating a curb and it's a slappy curb and there's paint on top and the curb you used to grind all the time and grinded super good. But then they put this new layer of paint on top. Now you got to deal with this new layer of paint and you got to like kind of grind it off as you're going. So on a 14 stair hubba, that kind of sucks. On a curb, not that big a deal. But I was dealing with that. That was pissing me off like crazy. And then on top of that, there is people honking their horns right when I pop. Like people are driving by screaming shit out the windows. This is like East LA, kind of a little bit of hood area. There was actually a police chase that went down, a crazy police chase where they're just going 100 miles an hour down the street beside me. And I watch all this stuff on YouTube and online, and sometimes me and the wife will watch like, oh, a police chase going down the freeway beside us or whatever. So it was like super exciting for me. And when that happened, my heart rate went up, my adrenaline went up, everything. And I got juiced and I was like, I'm gonna land it right now. And that was when my window was closing anyhow. I knew I only had like 20-ish tries on this thing before my legs were gonna be cooked. And so the police chase came at just the right time, fired up my heart rate, my adrenaline, and I started like really going for it. So I didn't land on any until the one that I landed, but I was being cautious, you know, as you do as a skater in your late 30s. You got to be a little bit more cautious. When you're younger, yeah, get hurt, roll your ankle, you're fine. When you're my age, you roll your ankle, it's going to take a little longer. So I'm trying to be cautious all the time. I'm going for it. I'm like feeling it because the board's, it's coming. I grinded a couple. It's happening. I think it's happening. So in my brain, every time before, I'm like, I'm committed. And there it is. It just happens like without really thinking about it. And, you know, that was the only crooked grind that I did down it. Like I didn't crooked grind it to warm up or anything like that. So that was the feeling, you know? Now we're at this kind of like the ender before the ender, the back 50 off the day one song, table setup, kind of a janky scenario. Play a lot of video games, you set up the tables in these areas, you got them at angles, and you know, kind of one of those fried like little stoner moves like, damn, if I could just get on this rail, I would grind that whole thing like right to the end and pop off to the side. Like that would be sick. You know, put on the infinity balance cheat code and put on like, you know, drag those tables over there in your little skate park editor part. So like the video game kid in me right now is like, if I move these tables 5 feet over here and I ollie onto this rail and just go infinity balance grind mode, I might be able to do this. Because I knew I could get down off that drop, but it was definitely scary. So let's see what happens here. I had a little 3-stair over there that was, you know, it was just the perfect slot for these two tables for me to ollie on and then ollie onto the rail and try and get all the way past the double set. So this was really fun. This rail didn't grind very good at the start though. I had to wax it like crazy and I had to go back a second day. As you can see, my outfit, I think, changes. That was the last try from that day. And I got close. I knew I could get past the stairs. The rail was kind of sticky. It had these little welds on it that I ended up filing off on the next day. And yeah, I guess I'm wearing the same pants, but a different shirt. So repping the homies Dime, the Dime homies. Proud of those boys. But yeah, I had to rep the Dime homies, get a clip. You know, always repping the Red Dragons, everything else. So I feel like, dude, like this was a day one inspired Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Probably not old enough, but you know, you just drag some shit around and make it fun. And it's all about just skating and having fun anyhow and getting your heart rate up and scaring yourself and, you know, doing it for Cardiel. If this was here, I was on King of the Road and Cardiel was like, you got to grind that. I'd be like, I'm fucking grinding it, bro. Like, let's go. That's the like little voice in the back of my head that's always, come on, do it. Like Felper just lives in there. Cardiel lives in there. There's a couple other dudes that live in there, but they're special dudes, you know? Mac now lives in there. Those dudes are all in the back of my head when I'm trying some shit like this. And it's like, it's for the love, you know? It's because I want to do it. Duffy would be like, get there, get that. I think that's the best way that I motivate myself is I tell myself, what would these dudes that I look up to, that I love, what would they be thinking if they were on the sesh with me? They'd be juiced. So like that gets me juiced, and it's about bringing that up, and that's like the passion that's forever in skateboarding. So I mean, I definitely almost gave up, and I didn't want to go back, you know, like, but there's that worm inside your brain that says skate till the legs fall off. Or I guess that worm he's got in my brain. So yeah, front three. Been on the trick list forever. Wanted to get it so bad. Didn't want to go try it because I knew it was going to hurt. I was getting grinded up on the landing. Obviously under rotating it, landing, just slipping out, just shoulder pack, just scraped whole left side of my body. Realistically, didn't kick out on very many because I didn't want to. It hurts more to kick out. Just landing on the board is the way to go on something big like this. So front three was the perfect trick. I could, you know, manipulate the board most of the time to land back on it. Dude, it felt so good to roll away from this one. It was probably the best feeling front three I've ever done in my life. Up there with a couple like other hand-picked tricks that are my favorites of all time. So yeah, it was an easy choice for the ender, but not an easy task. Hope you enjoyed the 2 sips in the trenches episode. And we got to get back out in the field, in the streets, in the parks. Because, dude, I've been sitting in this room too long and I need to go skate. Straight up, dude. It's 5 o'clock, dude. I'm going skating. Peace. That black plague is strong. You need a chaser for that shit.